If all the rice grains in the world were made into one giant crispy rice treat, how enormous would this treat be? There are currently about 3.2 quadrillion grains of rice in the world. To make this treat, one must use Loch Ness as the mixing bowl and add 3,900 cargo ships full of marshmallows and butter, using the Golden Gate Bridge as a spatula to stir. When it comes time to bake, space mirrors must be used for heating. The baking pan would be so large that it could cover the greater part of Beverly Hills. Once it is fully baked, if you step back and look at it, the height of this crispy rice treat would actually exceed Mount Fuji. In the event of a ferocious tsunami striking, could a giant sponge absorb the monstrous waves? The water carried by a tsunami amounts to billions of cubic meters, enough to completely flood the city of Chicago. To absorb this water, a sponge as tall as the Empire State Building is required. However, tsunamis travel as fast as lightning, at speeds exceeding 800 kilometers per hour. The sponge would be instantly crushed upon impact. A steel framework must be built to firmly secure the sponge, and it must be anchored deeply into the ground. Only then is there a slight possibility of stopping those ferocious giant waves. If an erupting volcano crater is plugged, can it stop the eruption? One must know that subterranean magma and toxic gases are constantly rising. If there is no outlet to vent, the pressure will build up layer by layer, until the rocks surrounding the magma chamber can no longer bear the weight, cracking one after another, creating new eruption channels several kilometers away from the volcano. Or extreme pressure could cause the volcano to erupt laterally. Its destructive force would be even more terrifying compared to a normal eruption. If a hummingbird expanded to the size of a jet plane, what would happen? A single flap of its wings would generate fierce winds, sweeping through the streets like a hurricane. Completely unstoppable. However, to maintain the continuous flapping of its wings, it would need to consume the nectar of over 2 billion flowers daily. Calculated out, it would drink over 150,000 liters of nectar daily. However, when its body size expands to such enormous proportions, its heart, in order to pump blood throughout the entire body, would inevitably be overwhelmed and ultimately rupture. Even if it miraculously survived, the heat generated by its massive wing muscles would rapidly accumulate, cooking the bird from the inside out.